Yesterday was about established industry giants. Today is going to be about new innovators, companies that are disrupting their industry, and they're changing the way we're going to travel on land and in the air. Both of these companies are delivering new consumer experiences. And first up, we're going to hear from Canoo. They are introducing a new business model for the automotive industry. And so please welcome to the stage Canoo's head of operations, Olivier Bellin.
Thank you, Olivier. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce day two. I can see Dean has actually electrified you, and electricity is very important for us, as you can imagine. My presentation today is not about IT. My presentation is about business, and actually a business renaissance. It's about a product that you know, because it's about a product that you are using every day. But in that story, the product is not the end game anymore. There are a number of technological and social forces that are now in play to change the way we move people and goods from point A to point B. A new ecosystem of mobility is emerging, and it will offer safer, faster, cleaner, and more enjoyable transportation. Canoo is part of it. Before I get to the story, let me give you a little bit of background about who we are. We are a Los Angeles startup, and we are doing electric vehicle made for subscription. We had humble beginnings, as you can see, and truthful to the legend, we started in a garage 17 months ago. Now we are 400 people. Things go very fast, and we have a car. We are fortunate to be led by a bunch of senior executives who all manage product at scale. Stefan was the CFO of Deutsche Bank, BMW, and as well the CEO of Rolls-Royce. Katie was the CFO of Opel, CEO, sorry, getting more my shit together. The CEO of Opel, Volkswagen, China, and as well as Continental. Richard is one of the most innovative and creative industrial designer of the industry. Oli spent 30 years in BMW. He's mostly known for the relaunch of Mini, and as well as the father of the I program. James launched Uber in Australia, and after this success, moved to San Francisco to HQ, and then was the mastermind behind UberX and Uberpool. I myself have a background in supply chain and finance and in consumer electronics. This being said, the story. Automotive is a dream. It means freedom, independence, style, sport. This is what we were told. This is what we believed in. It shows achievement and personality. But in reality, this is not what we are experiencing. Because what we can see is this. Joy of driving, air pollution, noise pollution. It's just too complicated. Everybody who has dealt with DMV knows exactly what I'm talking about. What we want is simplicity, flexibility. I wish I could do that. And of course, space. In the last 20 years, technologies and products have made a giant leap ahead. 20 years ago, a dream home looked like this. Now a dream home is open, modular, with a lot of glass. A computer used to be a bulky device. Now it is light, simple, and yet with 50 times more computing power. When we made phone calls, we used to remember 20 phone numbers. I can't barely remember 2 nowadays. A social event used to look like this. Now it is looking like that. So many progress. But unfortunately, not everything is progressing in a good sense over time. You are slow on the joke. All right, back on the story. This is a Toyota Camry in the 90s. This is the same Toyota Camry today. Outside of few cosmetic change, of course, performance and safety improvements, it looks basically the same. Automobiles have not changed. So what are we doing about it? We are working on a new generation of vehicle which will be 100% electric and 100% different. Our value proposition is not car-centric, it's people-centric. We have not designed a car that people will love. Yes, you heard me right. You're still slow on the jokes. We have not designed a car that people will love. We have designed a car that loves people. That is a fundamental shift. I'll start by explaining this as an example with user interface. Technology used to be a foreign language that was different for every product. We had to learn it. It was painful. Now the products we love are in the background, always here, always available. And we notice them only when we want to use them. We control them by voice. Unfortunately, this experience does not translate in the car. Last time I came to Vegas was for CES. I went and rented a car, and we were all surprised that as we got into the car, the infotainment system looked like just from another century, in the bad way. And here you have examples that are showing that the industry is trying to address this, and is working very hard to make it prettier, shinier, fancier. But it's still too complicated. Engineers have seen too many science fiction movies. Canoo's approach is very different. We understood there is no way we can keep up with the innovation on the mobile phone. So we decided to use that device as a digital hub and gateway between the car and the user. So the experience can be simple, but personalized. The second change we will be introduced is subscription. Canoo car will never be on sale. They will be available on a month-to-month subscription without any commitment. It's very different from a lease. It'll be super flexible. But it'll also be, again, very simple because we will do it all for you. You won't have to deal with insurance. You won't have to deal with maintenance, dealers, and so on and so forth. The beauty of that subscription model is that it can also be applied to B2B. And I'm thinking particularly to ride-sharing and short-distance logistics. Here you have an illustration of all the current steps that a driver has to go through before riding for Uber or Lyft. This is what will be tomorrow. Additionally, we believe there is currently no car that meets the ride-sharing requirements. The last time I took a Uber was 2 days ago to go to the airport to come here. Do you think it was a good experience? I ended up in the back of an outdated Prius that was very smelly. Felt like to be in one of these greasy, awful McDonald's. Because the car is designed for the drivers and not for the passengers, isn't it crazy that the one who pays has the worst experience? So we decided to address that. In a similar way, we contemplated the way we use our personal car. And so 30 years ago, the industry invented the station wagon so it could move stuff, so people can move stuff around. But you know, over time, more stuff, more people, it wasn't enough, so the industry invented the minivan. It achieved the purpose. It created also an increased sense of security because the car is bigger and because the driver is sitting higher. Unfortunately, it also came with reputational damage. So here comes the SUV with cool factor and prestige. It's a huge market success. But nowadays, 99% of those vehicles never see dirt. Most of them are barely capable of climbing a curb. With everyone making an SUV, that cool factor is disappearing. So we believe people are looking for something new. So we came up with the post-SUV concept with more living and social space. And now how did we do that? We have addressed an old paradigm. Traditional cars are modeled after the three-box principle. A power module in the front, people in the middle, stuff in the back. Sounds familiar? All current electric vehicles are looking the same. But they don't need to. Form following function, an electric powertrain allows a very different architecture and a very different design. And so we did it. We were proposing a new architecture that amplifies interiors. On a footprint of a compact car, we will be providing more interior space than a large SUV. Before you get too excited, this is just a graphical rendering. Our car looks way better. So it all started with a strong foundation. And we call that foundation a skateboard. It's a flat and compact bed which integrates all our technology in the floor. I'm talking the motors, battery, gearbox, brakes, dampers, but also batteries as a structural element of the chassis. This is a common platform we will be using for all our Canoo's vehicles. So we will synergize a lot the initial R&D development. We will go to market with 4 different vehicles that will address different needs. Our lifestyle is our answer to the post-SUV, and it will be launched by Q3 2021. We will also propose a dedicated car for ride-hailing around that time, and a bit later, a very efficient solution for last-mile delivery. And then we will deliver commuting. Some of our products, as you can see, are very descriptive. But as I said in the beginning, the product is not the end game. It's about usership. It's about experience. As we know, there is a general trend that users are expected to access the product when they need it, and only when they need it. It leads to usership rather than ownership. The product is not only the hardware, but rather a service. As you all know, the software industry has proven to be pretty successful in embracing that shift and created enormous value. It is now coming to people that are more hardware-centric, like automobile. This transition is far from easy, and it requires major change on our operating model, and as well as on our go-to-market. So how do we do this? Technological companies are in the era of exponential innovation. Things are going fast and globally. Traditional centralized organizations are becoming inefficient. To do in 3 years what others have been doing in 9 years, Canoo needs a decentralized and distributed business model. We are running a lean organization that heavily relies on partners and contract manufacturers. We are asset light. We need tools that support us. We need unified data model and digital integration across the enterprise and across the network. So we started our journey with 3DX, and we hoped for the cloud because we were looking for a low total cost of ownership, but also we were looking for a fast and easy solution to deploy. This system is ideal for us because it's available 24/7 across the globe for all our employees and our partners. But it's just the beginning because our business model is being disrupted. As a conclusion, I would say, up to now, the point of purchase marks the handover of responsibility of the product to the customer. But car as a service means that this whole system is facing a tectonic shift. And it will change the way data need to go and back and forth between users and makers around the entire span of the lifetime of the product. All of this has a lasting impact on how devices are being made and how they are put to use. We should not be talking about value chain anymore, but about value loop. Thank you.